In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Tactical Ops Clone Trooper for the Revenge of the Sith line, but he's better known as the 501st Legion Clone Trooper. I'm not exactly sure why he was originally named the Tactical Ops Clone Trooper. Uh, Perhaps it was an early concept in Revenge of the Sith that Hasbro found out early on, and for whatever reason, down the line, it just morphed into like the 501st Legion Clone Trooper. Not exactly sure the story behind it. I tried looking up a little bit of information about it, but I couldn't really find much of anything. And it doesn't seem like anyone ever really asked the question as to exactly why is this called the Tactical Ops Clone Trooper. It's a mystery, or it's been a mystery to me for many years now at this point. But perhaps I'll find out at some point. If you do happen to know, let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. So I've had this clone trooper in my collection for many years now. In fact, I got this for Christmas in 2005. So he's one of my original clone troopers. Similar to the ATTE tank gunner that I reviewed previously. He wasn't the very first or second clone trooper I got, but he was definitely in the first 5 or 6. And I have a lot of great memories with this guy. Of all the clone troopers I've had in my collection through the years, this one I probably had the most action with, I guess, where I used him for a lot of dioramas, a lot of scenes. I did a lot of photography with this guy back in the day, too. At some point, I'll have to dig out all my older photos and post them on the channel. And this was still during the days where you had film camera. So he is mostly just a repaint of the ATT tank gunner. Just missing the parts, like the extra piece that goes on top of the helmet there. Of course, he's in the nice 501st colors. Personally, this is my favorite 501st clone, between this one and the antenna mold, even compared to the newer sculpts we get. I've talked about this tooling multiple times, but it is some of the best hip articulation that I've ever seen. And you can get them in a really nice kicking pose even. I used to do things like this at the time and then have a battle droid at the end. A lot of good scenes you could use him for. So you can see they did some weathering on him, mainly on his feet. Kind of interesting they did that because the only time we see these guys in Revenge of the Sith is during the assault of the Jedi Temple, and I wouldn't really think their armor would get muddy like that. But you never know. He does have a lot of scrapes and scuffs on him. Overall, he's in pretty good shape, considering I've had this for 19 years. You can see his armor's not quite as white as it could be. It's not yellow, but it's definitely more faded. And I know it's a little more faded because I acquired another one, a slightly different one. As you can see, it doesn't have the weathering on him. But you can see it's much whiter compared to the Revenge of the Sith one. I think this one may have been released in the 30th anniversary line or Saga collection. Not 100% sure. I got this one at a local comic book store loose one time. In terms of his articulation, he does have the some of his parts can fall off a little easy. But articulation, ball joint the head, swivel shoulders, elbows, swivel wrist, nothing in the waist. Of course, the really good hip articulation here. You can pretty much get them in any pose you want. Very fluid. Then the hinged knees and hinged ankles. Does have the removable helmet, the Tamora Morrison head. For accessories, of course, he does have the removable shoulder armor there. There's no star or anything. Not really necessary. And then the DC-15 carbine. Then the display stand that's platform of the Jedi Temple. Fits pretty good on it. But I think that's pretty much all I can tell you about the Tactical Ops clone here. Would I recommend him for your collection? I totally would. He's still very affordable, or fairly affordable, I should say. I don't think he's $5.99 like how he was back in the day. But you might find a brand new one for $10, $15, $20, somewhere in that range. He was one of the very last action figures released in the Revenge of the Sith line. I forget what number he was. I think they went up to number 61, and then he may have been somewhere in the 50s. But yeah, our very first 501st clone, I think, and quite frankly, I think it's one of the best ones Hasbro's ever made. Cherish this action figure greatly, have a lot of great memories with him. It's been in my collection for 19 years now. Like I said, I'll have to dig out some of those old photos at some point, post them on the channel. And yeah, it's just a fantastic action figure. Great way to add some more clones to your collection. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I always appreciate all your support, and check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.